to granola baking. This is a batch that I just made. It's nice and toasty. That shows you what we're going for at the end. So, when I make granola, I have several different recipes that I like to follow. This one is very easy and minimal for children, and it's a very small batch recipe, so you can feel free to double it or more. I have 2 small bowls here, as well as all of my ingredients separated into my dry ingredients and my wet ingredients. And I have my various measuring cups and spoons. So we are going to use some rolled oats, sunflower seeds. I like to put flax seeds into my granola, sometimes even quinoa. Those are completely optional steps. I have sunflower butter I will add along with honey and a little vanilla extract. Let's get started. The first ingredient I will use are the rolled oats. This recipe requires 1 cup of rolled oats. You can see that it is filling it up to the top. I am actually going to put them, like that, into the small bowl. And a few oats fell into my large bowl, so I'll move them. Next, I will measure sunflower seeds. 1/8 cup. The smaller measuring cup. I also need 1/8 cup of flax seeds. Again, very optional. We are done with those ingredients. I'm going to give it a little stir. Now I also am going to add to the dry ingredients a dash of salt and a little cinnamon. I'll start with the cinnamon first. The cinnamon here I have 1/4 teaspoon. Now I personally love a lot of cinnamon, so I don't measure this one as carefully. Kind of put a nice heap in there. You might experiment with other spices, nutmeg or cloves or allspice, anything in that family that you enjoy might be kind of a fun experiment. Now for the salt, I have a Himalayan salt grinder. A lot of children in my class love this as an activity all on its own. It's a lot of work to grind the salt. And we're just going to do a few little twists in here, not too much. That's plenty. Now I'll stir those spices in. Now we've brought the big bowl back for our wet or liquid ingredients. Often when you're cooking or baking, you want to use a liquid cup measurement for these types of ingredients. However, because this recipe is so small, I'm going to choose to stick with my dry cup measure for today. I'm going to do honey first, and I need 1/8 cup of honey. My honey is a bit crystallized, so it's very hard to get out. So I'm going to undo the entire top here. You can see how stiff it is. It's very strange, right? Usually honey comes out much quicker than this, right? check and see your honey at home, how it behaves. This is just a little bit old honey, and so when honey gets old, it does this thing called crystallization, where it starts to get more firm. It's not quite as liquidy as it used to be. If you saw crystallized honey, you would also see that it is taking on a different structure. Take a look at the top of my bottle. You can see that. Okay. Now I have this honey that I can put here. And I'm going to go ahead and use this measuring cup again for my 1/8 cup sunflower butter. I'll get another spoon. Here you go. That one spoonful really pulled out 1/8 cup right away, didn't it? Now this will definitely be ready for the dirty dishes. It's time to stir up this a little bit. Mix the sunflower butter and honey together, and then I'll add a little vanilla. So for the vanilla, I'm going to turn to my little 1/4 teaspoon again. This recipe calls for 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla, and I don't have 1/2 teaspoon on hand right now, so it's a great time for a little lesson in fractions. Right? You can say 1/4 plus 1/4 equals 1/2. Or said another way, 1/4 taken 2 times equals 1/2. So I'm going to use this 2 times to get my proper measurement. One, 2. Now a little stir. And I will show you. It's looking good. Now we'll bring back the bowl of dry ingredients, and the dry ingredients go into the bowl for the wet ingredients. Now it's time to mix this all up together. This is a great time for developing muscles to work. Be careful. You don't want so much force that the granola shoots out of the bowl. I am trying to evenly coat the oat mixture with the sunflower butter mixture. I'll show you. That's coming along pretty well, right? If you see that a lot of oats are loose at the bottom of your bowl, you want to stir them up into the mixture. You want to make everything sticky. Sometimes it can really clump up on the spoon. Okay, this is looking very good. It's fairly evenly mixed, so I will go ahead and put on my baking sheet. I have given my baking sheet a little bit of tin foil just because I like to be able to stir the granola a little easier and take it off the pan a little easier. It'll work just fine on a plain baking sheet, especially because this recipe doesn't have any oil in it. I have found that oil tends to make the granola really sticky and just kind of adhere onto the tray. So we'll put it out fairly evenly. The more spread out it is on the tray, the better it will cook in the oven. I also have my toaster oven today that I'll be doing baking in. It is heated up to 350 degrees. You can use your oven just the same as a toaster oven, same temperature. And I'm going to bake this granola for 5 to 7 minutes. Then give it a little stir and bake it another 5 to 7 minutes. Both times that you check it, with the stir and the end, you can check to see if it's browned up a little bit on the top of the granola. That's going to tell you if it's cooking properly and if it's cooked enough. You definitely want to keep an eye on this because it's very easy to forget about it, and then it will burn very, very I've almost gotten all of the granola out of the bowl. Again, it's very sticky down there, so it doesn't really want to come out. Now it's ready for the toaster oven. I'm going to go ahead and let this bake. And when it comes out, it will cool on the tray for about 5 or so minutes. And then I'll go ahead and put it in my Tupperware with its other batch. In my house, I also like to add walnuts and cranberries and other things like that after it's done baking. Sometimes you might want to do dried coconut as well. You can get pretty ingenious with your things that you add. So look around your home and see what you might want to put in your own granola. Happy baking!